Lions are kicking to the left of screen. They won the toss. Carey playing in the goal square at the opening bounce for North Melbourne. McRae's quick kick towards centre wing and rolls out. Sean Hart, there's Craig McRae, a couple of goals last week. Important player, almost like a barometer. Lions bench. Now, Richard Champion in the background there. And tell me, is that Chris or Brad? I should know.
It's one of them.
Playing together for the first time since year 11 at St Kevin's. And their mum Lynn, who was on the 7 Nightly News during the week, here tonight. Kick towards Mickey Martin, goes off the ground. What a great character he is. Back in towards the centre. Good take by Danny Dickfoss. High ball towards half forward. Front spot, Voss is playing forward in the forward pocket. That's a surprising move. Brady Anderson away, kicks the ball back to centre wing. Darryl White, big high leap, couldn't quite take the mark. North had a few numbers. Handball by Carter was okay. Back to Clark. Clark goes short. Wide to half forward, not a particularly good kick. Archer bounces away.
Well done by Archer, and equally as well done by Stevens. Threw it onto his right boot, kicked it. It's been marked by Abraham. Abraham's kick towards full forward. Lynch gets rid of his opponent. Here's a good race here between Carey and Lynch. The ball at the back. Longmire tries to shepherd. No one there for North Melbourne. Longmire providing the opportunity. Kick forward again by the Kangaroos. Carey 1 against 4 and outnumbered. Scott it is. Chris Scott, who kicks it close to the line, and it's over for a boundary throw-in. Dipper.
Hello, Bruce. Hello, boys. A very wet wave, as you mentioned, but with me I've got a famous name here, Stuart Conlon. Of course, his dad played many games for Fitzroy. He was the mascot tonight for the Lions. Was that exciting out there?
Yeah, cool.
And who's your favourite player for the Lions?
Vossi.
Is that because of the haircut you've got, the Vossi haircut?
Yeah.
And did you used to back for Dad when he used to play for Fitzroy?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course you did. Back to you, boys.
Good on you, Tipper. And it's a big day on Sunday for the Lions at Brunswick Oval. Now, Blakey with the ball. What a player he's been, this fellow.
And a good battle looming up forward, Bruce, with Longmire and Lynch. And Trent Bartlett, his first game for many seasons, for many weeks, of course, is on Carey.
Abraham's kick to the goal square is a good one. Front spot. Lynch held his ground pretty well. Scott with a chance. Snap. Wide. First score of the match. It's a behind.
It's probably about 70 weeks since Trent Bartlett had a run. He didn't get a game at all last year because of a couple of ankle reconstructions. And certainly he's got the big challenge up against the superstar of the competition.
Lynch out wide.
Yeah, the rain falling may just ruin this game as a bit of a spectacle. The Lions have had a few possessions early in this game, in particular McRae. There's a push out. Is it against Kennedy? No, it's going to Matthew Kennedy.
Signal given by David Ackland was for holding, so here we see it again. He's paid holding there by the jumper, so that was the reason the free kick was paid.
Well, he picked that up pretty well because the jumper, you could see, definitely held there. In front of the pack there is Martin. His assistant is Jason McCartney, but the umpire will bounce about 45 metres out directly in front of the Brisbane Lions goal. It is Brad Scott on the ground, we've been told, not Chris Scott. Chris Scott, we saw just a little snippet of sitting on the bench. And Lepich, a bit too high, John, there.
Yeah, bump to the head. Once a player's head's down like that, anybody that comes in from the front has to be very wary. And if in coming in from the front they make contact with the head, as was the case then the umpire has to protect that player and award the free kick. Head down, bump to the head. You know, it's understandable that a player is protected in that situation.
9 goals so far in this competition to Justin Lepich, an exciting player. We've seen a lot of him, particularly in matches from the Gabba, and he's going for the Lions' first goal. It's a good kick, long, but just off to the left and through for the Lions' first score. A behind kick by Justin Lepich.
Rain building down now, as you can see. David King, brilliant season in 97, All-Australian. Mickey Martin, wide to half-back. At the back, Carter did well to Ashcroft. On the left, kick to half-forward, Mr. Kennedy. Wide, King running it towards the boundary with him. Tristan Lynch, who's been terrific in the opening 2 matches in Cape Town and also the Gabba. There's Dennis Pagan, who looks really fit. I saw him in the change rooms before the match. Currently 20, getting down to 17. And Dennis looks as if he's lost a bit of weight. He looks super fit at the moment. He looks like he's done the pre-season with the players. And another boundary throw in. As Robbo says, conditions pretty tough at the moment. Martin Pike, and there's Roger Merritt at the back, the assistant and John Northey, and Merritt, who Scotty Clayton was there as well. Second year in a row that Roger's been assisting John. Pickett, big impression last week. King, that's his trademark, isn't it?
Well, he stretched himself to get a little bit of space and then let himself down with a poor disposal. Brad Scott, number 5, 32 is Hart. Now Kennedy gets it away. Trent Bartlett just a little slow. Carey, brilliantly taken by Tristan Lynch. He was hurt in a marking contest in the very early seconds of the game, but he looks as though he's recovered well. Away goes Voss. A beautiful little kick into the path. Oh, it's a great goal kick there for the Lions by Simon Black. A terrific kick by Voss to set it up for Black as Roberts comes off the ground for the Kangaroos, a bad blow.
Yeah, we saw him get skittled in one passage of play, but the intercept was good there by Tristan Lynch. Watch for the vision of the Brownlow medalist in Voss. He could have easily blazed away. He just chipped it over the top. Pretty smart stuff from the skipper. And Simon Black would be pretty happy to start the game with that.
As we see Mark Roberts coming off the ground, he was indicating his hamstring. His left hamstring's gone, I think, boys.
Thanks for that, Dipper. We saw Peter McKenna a moment ago. Peter, you're in the stands. It's going to be pretty hard kicking for goal tonight in conditions like this.
It certainly is, but terrific coaching by John Northey. If they're to win this game, the Brisbane Lions, they had to get some talent down there with Lepich. I think he'll be pretty well held by Michael Martin, so they had to get someone down there, and that player is Michael Voss. He's a very clever player.
Good point, Macca, as Hart towards centre wing. So the Lions, with the first goal of the match, some great play by Tristan Lynch to Voss and the vision to Black, and Black the goal. Well,
it may well be that Nigel Lappin is just doing a straight interchange with Michael Voss. We know that Lappin played out of a forward pocket last week with a lot of success against Adelaide, and Michael Voss is lined up in that position with Lappin in the middle at the moment.
Just saw the super a moment ago. Sean Hart's wife Linda having a second son during the week. Ricky, congratulations to the pair of them. Carey. It's going to be a ball up. Or a bounce. 50 metres away. It's Adam Simpson.
No holding.
Can hear the umpires. They're mic'd, as you know, during the Ansett Cup competition. Carey, good smother by Clark. Anderson, rather Burl. Scott, Burl, still in there. Carey off the ground, off the side, out of bounds. Was it on the full or touch coming through? Close. Found the umpire conferring now with the field umpire, and it's out on the full.
Well, it didn't pay off on that occasion, but kick off the ground is certainly going to be valuable as we have a look at Mark Roberts going down. He probably did that hamstring by having a fresh area at the football.
Good mark by Clark at half-back, between half-back and centre wing. Now to centre wing. Front spot, Kennedy. Held his ground pretty well, and then recovered all right. High ball. Outside 50 still. Front spot there, Lepich, clever. Well done, got the handball away. Black, his left-hand handball into the pocket. Hart trying to get over the top of it, keeps his head down, well done. Handball on the up by Ackermanis was good. Black's handball didn't have a lot on it. Courageous play by North Melbourne at the back there. Might have been Anderson, and a boundary thrown at half-back.
Just to bring up the date with Mark Roberts, it's definitely a hamstring. You won't see him back on the ground, and that's back light for Mark and also the Roos.
Well, you can see there he's in the race that leads down to the bench. Mark Roberts being attended by the medical staff as the struggle goes on for possession near the middle of the ground. North Melbourne, Pike taken away there for the Lions by Ackermanis. The kick to the forward 50-metre line favouring Brisbane, gathered by Pike. Missed his target in Grant. Oh, tough at the footy there. What looked like Justin Lepich, and really made Pike know all about what was happening there in that contest. And the Lions lead 1-1. North Melbourne are one behind. It's 45 metres from the Brisbane goal. Trying to hack it out of there was Pickett. Eventually Blakey kicks it close to the wing. The ball bouncing close to the line and eventually taken over as Peter Bell, not much he could do, confronted by Brad Scott, and the throw-in will take place right on centre wing where the players' interchange is affected.
What about early in this part of the game, Robert? Do you think that Brisbane may well just have a little bit of an advantage on the ground and the slippery conditions?
Oh, no doubt about that. They've certainly had more possessions the way I see it so far, but it's just the luck of the draw. Get it out in the open, and the Kangaroos may kick a goal at the other end.
Jason McCartney overran it, back to centre wing. Good take there by Hewitt. Tackle on him okay.
Yeah. I mean, the thing going through Goldspink's mind then would have been whether he was propelled forward in the tackle. I don't think he was, to such an extent that it warranted a free kick for a push in the back. I think everything was done right by the tackler then.
Voss attacks it. Back to Carter, inside 50, goes for it. Good kick. He's got it. Voss again giving it. Well, if it was ice hockey, it'd be 2 assists, but this is AFL footy. So Voss, with the hands that time, foot past the previous time, and the Lions have got a handy little break in the first turn.
They have, and they're getting the ball into their forward 50, and it's remaining open, which is allowing a Voss to create some damage down there. Excellent finishing work, and it doesn't matter how good the disposal in is, it's a matter of whether you can put them through, and Nick Carter did it pretty well in wet conditions.
Well, the umpire now prepared to throw the ball in the air. Hewitt gets out in the area of Pike. Pike's little left foot hack goes towards centre-half forward. Simpson bumped off the football. Back goes Darryl White. The hand pass is effective to the player there in Tristan Lynch, and eventually finishes out wide with Lapham. Kick coming from Alistair Lynch. So both Lynches figuring in that passage of play. It breaks down rather ordinarily in the finish. David King is marked at left half back for the Kangaroos. 13 plays won, so still North Melbourne are goalless. Simpson will kick it forward. It's nearly up to their forward 50. The gatherers by Scholl. He went to the left, then to the right. His kick will bounce close to the line. Getting back there is Buse. Buse playing on Peter Bell in that back pocket, and he's helped it through for a rush behind to North Melbourne. Richard Champion chafing at the bit. He'd love to be out there on shore.
Yes, Peter Bell has just interchanged with Anthony Stevens, so he'll be head-to-head against Marcus Ashcroft, who was picking up Bell at the opening part of this quarter. So both sides just using regulation ruck rovers at the moment.
Alistair Lynch, pretty good distance, wants Clark. Well done, Hewitt from the side. Pike deep in the pocket, centres the ball, good kick. Gives his forward some hope at least by getting it to about 20 metres out. Longmire over the top of it. KRA just there by Anthony Stevens. And a ball up. Gee, Stevens, what a year he had last year for the Kangaroos. Number 10. So much to like about the way he plays his footy. The faithful out here tonight. Not a huge crowd, but we didn't expect it. We only had 14,000 last year when Geelong played North in the corresponding semi-final. The Cats won that by a point in a thriller. Clark's kick wide. Anderson called him a few minutes ago. It was Shannon Grant, who's gone out to help him, but fell over. Anderson short inside, gets to McCartney. Next Crove, and before that Magpie. McCartney's kick to about 40 metres. Scholl and also Longmire. Good fits from the back with Lynch and also White there. And the ball held up. North looking for a free kick. It'll be a ball up 50 metres out. So the Lions going well here. They lead 2-1 to the Kangaroos, 2 behinds. Mark Nash, David Ackland and Darren Goldspink, the umpires for tonight.
A good test for Brisbane with the rain falling quite steadily. Clark's high kick close to the boundary line. It may have gone over on the full. It has. So the free kick will be taken for North Melbourne by Adam Simpson.
And that's the one area of Matthew Clark's game that he has got a fair degree of improvement left in him. We've seen him already have a couple of kicks and give it back, just like that one.
Well, that's just sacrilegious. Ashcroft took the mark and then kicked the Lions down towards centre wing. Grant just able to get his hand to it and stop Tristan Lynch from running down the ground with the footy and force a boundary throw in. 13 plays 2. We're about halfway through the first quarter. The first semi-final of the 1998 Ansett Cup. The winner, of course, of this match will play the winner of tomorrow night's match between the Saints and the Demons. Simpson again forces it forward. Scholl to the front of the pack. Bell loves this. Peter Bell, he's kicked North's first goal. Peter Bell gets one on the scoreboard for the Kangaroos. They trail by 5 points.
Well, it took a fair while to get there, but North Melbourne, as you know, started slowly last week against Essendon. But they certainly did turn it around after half-time. And Peter Bell, who we said earlier had started in the middle of the ground, had just gone forward to have a bit of a spell. But it doesn't mean he's just out of the game. He's still got to just crumb the kicks and hopefully get goals.
A disconsolate-looking Mark Roberts, who Dipper's told us will probably take no further part. He's got a hamstring injury, and with only a couple of weeks left to the start of the roster season, Mark Roberts may have to use all of those 2 weeks in recuperation. Carter, one of the goal kickers for the Lions. Out wide, McCartney. Left foot kick by Jason McCartney goes wide, close to the boundary line. It trundles awkwardly for players. Out there in that situation, Dick Foss does well. Gets the ball in underneath, can't control it very well. Ashcroft, neither can Marcus Ashcroft, and it's forced over for a boundary throw in as Richard Champion stretches the muscles in preparation maybe to take the field.
He's had a double calf strain. Did it on Boxing Day, the first one, so he's been really frustrated this season. He's played 2 practice matches in Queensland, but gets his first run. Carey, clever. McCartney run down. Lions tackling, matching North's at the moment. North always very ferocious. Carey beautiful. To Bell, to Pike, goes for it. Close. He's got it. They're in front, the Kangaroos. Well, Carey, some good play, wasn't it? And a good finish. Pike's hit the goal in every match so far this season. But we saw Voss, Gerard, at one end with clever handball, and then at the other end, Carey again.
Well, one of the great keys and fundamental requirements of a wet game is just to keep the ball going in your direction towards the goals. We saw Carey have a kick off the ground. It didn't work. It went out of bounds. But on that occasion, the same policy, the same theory, just keep the ball moving, and it resulted in a goal. Danny Dick Foss coming off the ground, replaced, one would imagine, by Richard Champion. Yes, it certainly was. And so with the extra interchange players, both clubs have far more options available.
Well, that guy's now had his 6th kick, Martin Pike. One-hand pass, and he's kicked North Melbourne's 2nd goal. That's Bartlett underneath the pack. Can he get it out? Get it out, says the umpire. Ooh. What did you think, Gerard?
Well, I would have thought he tried to drag it back in, didn't really try to get it out, John.
Nobody tackled him, though, Gerard. That's the problem. Wayne Carey was over the top holding the ball in as well, rather than grabbing him by the jumper. If we see it again here, he certainly drags the ball in. Carey goes over the top. He's not actually tackling the player, so obviously the umpire can't penalise him. Until he's tackled, Carey's locking the ball in as well.
What was Carey doing to him? Just hovering over the top?
Holding the ball in from the other side,
okay,
for sure.
Fair enough. All right. Well, that's your interpretation, which I'm sure is enlightening to everyone watching. Simpson, his kick towards half forward. I'm dead serious. I mean, obviously people watching that, John, would have deemed that he was tackling the player underneath. So you being an umpire of only a couple of years ago?
Yeah, hopefully in slow motion it clarified that at no stage was the player grabbed, rather he locked the ball in as well.
Fair enough. Simpson has the football for the Kangaroos. He kicks the ball towards centre half forward. Oh, what a great leap and mark from behind by Darryl White. Gee, that's terrific stuff.
And the degree of difficulty was pretty heavy with the rain, as you say, Rob.
Oh, it was a terrific mark. Champion has the footy. North Melbourne lead the game by the barest possible margin. Sean Hart. Lots of publicity about the helmet that he's been wearing, or that, what would you call a head guard. He's had some sort of a deal with the manufacturer, and he's been told by the AFL to scratch it out, and that's exactly what he's done. Pickett with the football, kicks the ball across half forward. Longmire couldn't control it. Back goes Buse and Bell. Well done, Bell. Forces Buse to hand pass to Kennedy. In turn, Bartlett. So good support there across half back by the Lions. Lappin, little left foot kick across his body. Goes along the line and over for a boundary throw-in.
Just on the...
Gee, that was a great leap, wasn't it? He did propel himself with the assistance of Craig Scholl, maybe. But that's what the fans come to see. Spectacular marking by Darryl White.
McCartney, taken by Ackermanis. Left foot round the body, not bad for distance. Martin under the hammer to behind. Goal? Was it touched?
Touch.
It is a goal. Well, it looked touched to me, but obviously it wasn't. 3-1 to 2-2. Let's have a look, Mickey. Did you get... No, he didn't get his hand on it. Hang on. Go on, Mickey. Run it down. No, he does not. Well, they're in front. The Lions, good on them. 3-1 to 2-2.
And rest assured, we would have seen some great animated shots of Mickey Martin if he had have touched it.
I want to see that one again, Robbo, but I tell you what, he didn't touch it.
And he didn't get red-faced. And he certainly gets a bit excited when he thinks he's touched something, does Michael Martin.
It wasn't as bad as a couple of those decisions in Chennai on Wednesday.
Well, there you go. And
goal.
It's a real struggle here for a clearance from the centre bounce.
Who kicked it, by the way, from
Ackermanis.
And it comes back from Ackermanis, and there is bread and butter. But, well, you would have certainly had a lot of confidence that Mick would have got something on that. But
I don't think Mick would want to watch the replay of that either, Jared, do you?
No, it was a tough one.
It was a bit awkward, the approach on it. Kick forward by Abraham. That's Bartlett for Brisbane. Away from Carey. Scholl and Darryl White. More importantly, Darryl White falling over. Craig Scholl does reasonably well. He can't really get an effective left foot to it. And it's forced over. And Darryl White just limping there. Did you see something maybe a few seconds ago? I thought you were indicating to Jared that one of them might have been a little bit sore. One of those Brisbane Lions players as they ran out of defence. We just saw Darryl White limping. So we'll watch his progress with a lot of interest. Marcus Ashcroft trying to break away. Darren Goldspink takes control and will bounce. Well, he's got a bit of a strap over his right knee. Carey doing the ruck work down to Sean Hart. The hand pass not all that effective. Now he goes for the line, and was that disguised enough?
It's paid it.
I wouldn't think so. No, Freeborn will take the free kick. He's deep in the pocket, but he can score a goal, Glenn Freeborn. We saw that in the grand final against the Swans a couple of years ago. Lions defence under a bit of pressure, but Matthew Kennedy is there. Comes to the left, then back to the right. In front of his goal that he's defending, but Buse is there. In support, kicks it out wide and gives it straight up. The mark is taken by McCartney.
Centering ball. Takes a long time to get there, but makes it to Anderson. Brady Anderson, wearing Matthew Armstrong's number, and actually moves a bit like him. Different sided player. Scholl, nearly a good grab. Buse, better handball. Tristan Lynch, good skills. Back to Kennedy. Lions from the back pocket, get it to centre wing almost. Missed by Clark, but not easy. Good hip and shoulder there by Stevens on Black, and it'll be a boundary throw-in. Well, what about some of the grabs we saw? Darryl White last week was one of them. Bradshaw, another, was a beauty, and also Leppich. That was at the Gabba. Different conditions, but we've seen White take a ripper already here tonight. Last week in that big win by the Lions over the Crows. So free kick to McRae at centre wing. The Lions lead by 5 points. Semi-final. They haven't made a major final yet in their history as either the Bears or the Lions. So they're playing for plenty tonight. Pike off the ground. Anderson's handball. Push in the back. He's going to get a free kick. So Tristan Lynch just giving it away there, which was unfortunate for the Lions because it would have been a hard ball there for the Kangaroos. Under pressure. Let's have a look.
Yeah, perfect as you called it, Bruce. Clearly pushed in the back after disposal.
Kick out wide towards the wing. Well done by Johnny Longmire, and throws it onto his boot quickly. Chance here for North Melbourne. McCartney. Hand pass not all that good, but Freeborn able to collect his thoughts and then kick towards full forward. Craig Scholl, well done. And a terrific snapshot. It's a goal to the Kangaroos. Well done, Craig Scholl.
Kangaroos back in front. North lead 3-2, 3-1. What a super effort there by Scholl. One-on-one against Lynch. Lions slightly into attack. About 4 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. 20-19. Peter McKenna.
Yeah, so that's the danger, Bruce, as far as the Lions are concerned. When it goes down the forward line, Scholl starts off in the square. Carey comes up the ground. Then they interchange, and Carey plays a lot between the 50-metre line and the goals, and they are both goal kickers, and they're both dangerous anywhere within the goal square.
Scott over the top. I'll ask you something in a moment, Macca, about Carey. Here's Carey. 55 metres out. Good kick. Right to the square. Lynch. Well done, Matt. One of our co-commentators, not tonight, but thought as good as Carey was, that he wasn't quite as effective as at Waverley as he has been at the MCG over the years. Peter Mack, have you got a thought on that?
Well, no, I haven't got a direct thought, but he does play a lot in the down, as I said, between the 50-metre line and the goals, and ducks back a lot. He comes up the ground and gets back. It takes a really concentrated effort by a very good player to stick with him the whole time. Because, as I say, when he gets kicks, it's normally within goal kicking distance.
What has worked for North Melbourne is getting John Longmire into the ruck has changed the matchups. Craig Scholl has now got Alistair Lynch, and he's got away from Darryl White, who was giving him a touch-up early in the match.
Had a few touches, Tristan Lynch, so far in this game. Voss up high, couldn't take the mark. Now a real good contest here. And Freeborn, I would say, quite prepared to allow the ball to go over for the boundary throw-in. He looked as though he was out of position early in that contest.
I wonder if Michael Voss is going to be a set player in that full forward line at some stage. I know he's done particularly well now, but I wonder if they'll just move him into the middle, as you'd expect they will.
It was Luke Power that was contesting with Freeborn just a few minutes ago, close to the line. That's David King, hacked out of there by Grant. Oh, bounces just inside. So we'll have a boundary throw in. 20 plays 19, and there's the much heralded Shannon Grant crossing over the summer from the Swans in the exchange with Wayne Schwass. Both sides will have done well out of that, I would have thought, Jared.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right, Ian. Obviously, Schwass has got a limited tenure, whereas Shannon Grant's got a far longer career expectation. But Schwass probably the better player at the moment.
McCartney, he was a good shot a moment ago. Saw the ball just bouncing inside. Buse attacks hard. Simpson hard at Buse. Abraham's little kick. Back with Bell pushing forward. Tristan Lynch, well done though by Anderson, then pushes away. Stevens underneath, they're pushing forward. Bell's good, goes for a kick off the ground, can't do it. Buse looks for a free, almost earned it, I thought. Bartlett at half-back, little chip pass, poor kick, very bad footy. Pickett on the up, good to Carey. Carey's a long way from home, turns and weaves, little pass, okay, gets to Shannon Grant. Interesting, Grant played every game for Sydney last year, comes to North. Brad Scott played every game for Hawthorn, goes to Brisbane. The two in the same situation here in their new club. Scott probably getting in his way, Scholl, inadvertently there. Handball back to Lynch. Alistair with a chance to bang it away. That was a clever kick in the end, because it would have been a one-on-one with North in the box seat through Pike, and he was able to find the line.
Great piece of work by Richard Champion. He took Danny Dickfoss's place, as we can see there. Danny Dickfoss a little bit concerned, perhaps injured. But Champion just skittled a couple of North Melbourne players and picked the ball up and quickly gave it to Lynch.
A ruck contest between Matthew Kennedy and McCartney. McCartney forces it clear of the congestion. Champion and Pike. Nothing happening there. The umpire will bounce. It's about 75 to 80 metres from the North Melbourne goal. North Melbourne lead by a point. They've kicked 3 goals 2. The Lions have kicked 3 goals 1. Again, McCartney being asked to do the ruck work around the centre of the ground. Champion. Simpson a chance. Not really all that effective. Was that a throw? Yes, deemed as by David Ackland.
Tough in these conditions, Robbo, because the players are really anxious to keep the ball moving so the play doesn't get congested. And here we see that's the intention there. But Carey actually looks as though he gets a fist to that.
Didn't look too bad, actually, on the replay.
Looked like a pretty good handball.
Pretty easy to play footy from up here, John.
Yeah, it's good in slow motion, isn't it?
The run, we don't have to worry about the slippery ball. But anyway, North Melbourne leading presently by just 1 behind. Clark trying to take the ball out of the ruck contest. Forced forward by Trask. Now into the pocket. Martin close to the line. And it is over for a boundary throw-in. Mickey Martin, great campaigner for the Kangaroos. Just a real dour defender, always there, making it difficult for his opponent.
Deep now into this opening term. Tackle on Stevens by Voss, okay. But North hold up the Lions, and they lead a quarter time by 1 point. It's 3-2 to 3-1. Pike, Scholl, Bill, the goal scorers for the Kangaroos. Ackermanis, Black and Carter, the goal scorers for the Lions.
This young lady, aren't you?
A little, yes.
But it's terrific to see the two boys playing together, even though they haven't played together tonight, but it won't be long.
Well, we hope not. They're looking strong, both fit and well and raring to go.
And the news agency going well, because this week your boys featured in the paper, so obviously you would have bought an extra 50 copies.
Oh, yes.
Thanks for joining us down here.
Nice of you to ask me, thank you.
Good on you, Lynn. Lynn Scott, mother of Chris and Bradley, twins who are playing tonight for the Brisbane Lions. Abraham clearly could kick a goal here. Chips away, misses Stevens off the ground, behind. So North by 2 points. It's Brad Scott going, as you all know, from Hawthorn to the Lions. They hadn't played together in a match since year 11 at St Kevin's. So it's been a long time. And Chris would be absolutely bursting to get out there, wouldn't he, with all the problems he's had with his hamstrings.
My word.
Lynch short to White. White's been interesting. Robbo picked it up in the first quarter. Definitely limping and didn't look fully fit, but he's been left out there with 6 interchange. Now danger here, Wide to Champion and forced to go out. So it's 3-3 to 3-1.
Do you ever think Jared, a player in a new club like Abraham just a minute ago, is trying to do the right thing by his teammates? He could have had a go at the goals then, don't you think?
Well, that's his bread and butter, I guess, and you feel for him because clearly Stevens was in a pretty good position. The kick was poor, so we then say go back and have a shot at the goal. But if he marks the ball, Stevens has got a set shot, so it's a bit of a 50-50, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's true. Peter Bell, he's been a terrific player since crossing over from Western Australia, and he's now got a premiership medallion to show for it. Kennedy and McCartney to do the ruck work. North lead by 2 points. McCartney bashes it to the back of the pack. Champion. Over the top was Bell. Ball comes back to Robbins. Robbins' kick towards the wing has been very well marked by Hart.
Quickly onto the left. High ball. Clark did well because he's out of position early with Longmire there. And it's going to be a bounce between centre wing. Line slightly in attack. Black who kicked a goal. Interchange coming on Chris Scott. So he's getting a run for Richard Champion. So big moment for Chris.
That really did look soft in the context of how we see ruck contests normally contested, and nevertheless it's been paid to Johnny Longmire.
Longmire wide. Courage shown by Brad Scott. Had to keep his eye on it. Carey to Burl. Off the ground by Brad Scott. Simpson, hip and shoulder on him. Burl's little kick back to about 55 metres. Good take by Freeborn. Terrific footy. And then takes on White. Centres the ball. Magnificent play. Well, Abuse has given a free kick away, which is disappointing. Gee, but good footy by Freeborn. And Robert Scott's going to get the free kick right in front of goal.
This is an interesting one, John, because both players are running with the flight of the ball.
Well, the umpires are instructed if there's a player that runs into the front of another player that's attempting to take a mark, as happens there between Buse and Scott.
I would have said that was the back.
Scott was clearly attempting to take the mark.
Sure, and Buse was clearly attempting to spoil.
Well, in the Buse just runs straight into
the ball,
he wasn't even looking at the footy, Jared. I mean, I take your point, but if the umpires are instructed to pay those ones in favour of the player attempting to take the mark, then obviously Robert Scott had to end up with it. If there's to be a change from that, then obviously they'll have to be instructed accordingly.
And he's missed.
I just thought it was a little bit of an interesting one, because it was the same as if the ball is coming at two players and somebody comes from behind. He hits him from behind, and that's exactly what Andrew Buse did
No, it's
there.
different, because if a player comes from behind, he's still got to have his prime objective to contest the mark or spoil.
Sure.
But he wasn't doing that then. He was just running at the player.
Okay.
McRae kicks the ball out close to the wing. McCartney's taken a pretty good mark. He was unopposed, but he controlled the ball pretty well. Back inboard to David King. King sets it up at the front of the goals. No mark taken by Scholl. Now the Lions defence under a bit of pressure. Scholl does well to recover from the marking contest. His kick is pretty well ineffective, straight up and down. He gets back into the action once again, helped out by Bell. Scholl away there to Stevens. Stevens kick towards full forward. Real chance here if they make it blue, the Lions, with their ball handling. The Kangaroos will swoop on it. Freeborn just trying to keep the ball alive. Scholl across his shoulder. Carey in front. Comes to Lappin. Lappin then bombs it away outside the defensive 50, and the Lions out of trouble temporarily. A good mark taken by Jason McCartney, giving value to the Kangaroos.
And it's the strength of the Kangaroos now that's coming to the fore.
Super kick too, look at this. Right to the goal square. Carey launches himself. Freeborn at the bottom. Hook shot, good one. Well, shades of that grand final that Robbo talked about earlier. North has kicked 4 of the last 5 goals here. They lead 4-4 to 3-1.
And at the start of the match, we saw Brisbane winning much of the football because it was a very open game. It's since been bogged down, and in the clinches, North Melbourne have got a clear advantage here. Brisbane have to try and just create space and make it an open running game, whereas North Melbourne want to continue to keep it in the clinches where they're doing well.
8 scoring shots to 4, and 4 of the last 5 goals for North Melbourne. On top, the Lions have got to stand up here. It won't be a high-scoring match. They can't let North get away. Lynch at centre wing. Little chip pass, not too good. Shannon Grant at the back. Free kick, though, going to North Melbourne over the shoulder, I think, against Lepage, was it?
That was a signal given, yes, against Lepage.
Again, a little bit fortunate, I thought, but
yep.
Shannon Grant, the recipient of the free kick. Ball taken away by Bartlett, back to Tristan Lynch. Tristan Lynch, about his 10th possession, kicks to, oh, good mark again. Well, he was the #1 draft pick quite a few years ago when Collingwood picked him up. He's been a little disappointing, I would have said, but by gee, he's giving North some value. Archie, you're going to get run down. Good chase from behind. Chance for Scott. That was Brad Scott, away to Matthew Kennedy, back to Scott. Good pressure provided by Abraham. The ball spills to half forward. Abraham again, forces it forward. Free kick.
Same as earlier, Robbo. Player with head down, bumped in the head. Clear occasion where the umpire has to protect him, so the free kick paid for that bump.
I should get a free kick too. I got one in the head from Jared. He was trying to tell me what it was all about, Johnny.
And that is exactly what happened. A little bit of a knock to the head, but North Melbourne are now forcing a lot of skill errors from Brisbane, who are over possessing the ball, and I think they've got a real winner up in at full forward. Craig Scholl and Alistair Lynch is a bit of a mismatch in mobility.
Hughes tries to go off the ground. Bell keeps his head down. The ball falls forward for the Lions. Tristan Lynch Simpson did well to run across him. Good tackle on Pike. The give was from Anderson earlier. Back to Freeborn. Pressure from both sides here. Anderson under pressure. Chris Scott. Great to see him out there, as we said earlier. Handball over the top by Carter to Black. And the pressure from Pike forces the ball out of play. Stevens coming back on. Now, earlier when Freeborn kicked the goal, we'll see the bump on him. Coming from Buse. Bang.
That was actually paid as a free kick, but they kicked the goal, so it wasn't awarded.
Quick kick by Pike, who's been going well. Carey, Stevens, White. Little off the ground from McRae. Back to Ashcroft. Did pretty well to keep it in. Lynch ran over it. Black got away from him. Shannon Grant, no nonsense, off the ground. Chris Scott's got it at half-back. But the Lions struggling a bit here.
Now, I think it's time that Michael Voss came up into the play, Bruce. He's starving down there. He's got frostbite. And Rick Mortis is starting to set in.
He's got a good player on him too, and Archie. It's going to be hard to win the one-on-ones there.
28 plays 19. North Melbourne lead by 9 points. This is Simon Black from East Fremantle. Was an All-Australian under-18 representative. Martin to David King. Jared, one of the things that keeps on improving, I reckon, in football is the effectiveness of a tackle. They're wrapped up. Players don't seem to, these days, to go anywhere near attempting to break a tackle because they know they've got no hope.
No, you're dead right, Robert. That's probably been the skill that has improved greatest over the last 3 or 4 years, and you very rarely break a tackle these days.
McCartney doing well in the ruck against Kennedy too. The two running ruckmen when they relieve the big men. Stevens on the end of it, centering kick to centre half forward. Buse with him, Scott. Carey, Scott forced the change. Carey goes for goal and drills it. Great kick for King. Charging away, North Melbourne. 5-4 to 3-1.
Well, Brisbane can't get the ball forward to the centre at the moment, and if they do, it only goes as far as about midway between the centre and centre half forward. Then it's rebounded. We saw McCartney doing very well. But Wayne Carey, well, if he doesn't take them in the air, he can also kill you on the ground. He's got great mobility, and he sat in the right spot, read the ball better than Trent Bartlett, and got the goal.
Peter McKenna.
They're determined to get Mickey Martin up the ground, and so Lepage is taking him right up the ground, Bruce. But finally, they've put Voss up in the centre because Jared said he was being starved. There he is there in the centre now. So that's a good move by John Northey again.
He tapped it on cleverly, didn't he, to Clark a moment ago. Here's Martin, who, as Max said, the Lions trying to get him away from the goal square. Anderson back to Clark.
Gee, they looked as though there were good numbers around the footy there for the Lions. Surely they can make something of this. Lynch back to Voss. Voss across his left shoulder. Gets the ball pretty well into a scoring situation. Lappin, left foot snap. Great stuff by Nigel Lappin. First goal to that player, and importantly for the Brisbane Lions, they've got their 4th on the scoreboard.
Well, Nigel Lappin wasn't having a great impact on the second part of the first quarter, and really he was rarely cited in that opening part. He's had 6 kicks, but hasn't been damaging. That one was his most damaging kick, and well, Michael Voss back into the centre of the ground, and well, he's already had 2 important disposals. So pretty well stocked for talent when you can interchange a Voss and Lappin in that area.
Yes, I think it was mentioned there he is again. He gets another important touch away from the centre. Bounced as Michael Voss. Gathered by Black. Looks all right. Well done. Good little kick towards the half-forward area. McCartney dispossessed. Archer prepared to just tap it close to the line. He's going to be penalised.
Players run the risk. When they go straight for the line like that, then they're really taking a big chance.
Now, this is Trask as we have another look at Glenn Archer's. Go on, John.
Not much doubt what Archer's intention was there, Robbo.
Trask to the front of the goals. Marking contest. Punched away by McCartney. Gathered by King. And a free kick to David King. Was that a bit high, maybe, as he was trying to kick the ball away?
Yes, he signalled high and actually called high.
Nick Carter. Andrew Buse having a bit of a spell on the bench. 6 interchange players awarded to the teams in the Ansett Cup. And when the season proper starts, there will be 4 interchange players for each side. Anthony Stevens, a quick kick towards the centre of the ground. Carey's got a chance here. Oh, overruns it. Gathers, handball wide. Still alive for the Kangaroos. Simpson gathers. He's a natural left footer, so the right foot kick not bad to the front of the square. Bell just reeling as he was about to try and take the mark. Ashcroft back outside the defensive 50, not far enough. Pickett towards the centre half forward position, and the mark is taken there for Brisbane by Nick Carter.
They've got some numbers too.
They've picked up, haven't they, the Lions in the last 5 minutes since Voss has been on the ball. Carter's kick poor. Archer, mark, free kick, take your pick. Stands his ground so valiantly. Such a brave player. Centering the ball to King, charging away. Kicks the ball hard and wide this time. Not North Melbourne's usual way of going forward. Scholl run out of bounds. No, he kept it in. Good play. Back to Carey. Puts him under pressure. Handball. Misses the target. Lions have got to try and hold it up. Shannon Grant's handball was on the up. Back to Anderson. They concede. Pickett goes without it. Clark. Clever. Well done, the Lions. They've lifted Trask away to Kennedy. It was an important ball. Will he get a second go at it? Now the Kangaroos have got some numbers off the ground. Not bad by Stevens, because they could have kicked that out of bounds on the full, but he cleverly kept it down and out of play.
Robbo, you mentioned the benches. Just to let you know about North, we know Mark Roberts is off with a hamstring. Matthew Capuano hasn't played yet, and they've got a very tall bench compared to the Lions, who have got Dick Foss and also Champion still on the bench.
Well, you saw a great shot there of Glenn Archer doing what he does best, and that's standing up in the face of fire. Dipper, what about the position of Danny Dickfoss? Is he injured?
No, he's not, Jude. I've checked with the doctors, maybe because of the conditions here, but I've never seen Dickfoss off the ground before.
You would just think that maybe he's a better matchup down there at fullback on Craig Scholl, which would allow Lynch to come out the centre half back on Wayne Carey.
Spot on, mate.
Thanks, Dip.
Well, some concerns for the coaching staff for Brisbane. Nowhere near out of this game. The scoreboard indicating North Melbourne by 9 points, 34 plays 25. And the drizzling rain is going to make it difficult for a big score to be kicked by either side. All single goal kickers so far. 5 singles to North, 4 singles to Brisbane. Simpson just runs into a brick wall. Now chance for Ackermanis. His kick to the forward 50. Archer going back. King, misunderstanding. Bamford, dispossessed. Play on, says the umpire. Great umpiring. King away with the footy towards the wing. Carey held, didn't have the footy. Most definitely a free kick there against Bartlett. John Northey not happy. Plenty to say from the Brisbane Lions coach as Carey kicks North Melbourne to half forward.
Taken by Freeborn. Handball back towards Stevens. Then by Hewitt. Stevens again. In front, good mark, Bell.
Well, you mentioned in front, Bruce, and in that passage of play, that's where all the North forwards were.
Bell kicks it hard, long, bit of a hook. Mark taken by Lynch right on the goal line, so no score.
Which way are you going? Which way are you going?
Here,
you can do it.
umpire talking to Alistair Lynch, asking him which way he's going to come over the mark. And Scholl gave him some ground there, which was interesting, because there's plenty of ground at the back for him. Voss reading it beautifully. Kick inside, not so good. Scott on the up, okay. Left foot, got a bit on it too, Scott. Inside half forward. Martin under pressure. Kennedy, chance for the Lions. They could just win this ball. They couldn't. King tries to crash his way through. They hold him up. Black off the ground by Lepich. Not a bad option. Getting back Pike. Now Pike can kick it wide. Doesn't get a hold on it, but it was clever. Gets it to Pickett. Pickett, handball over the top. Weighted it all right. McCartney back to Pickett. Pickett had to wait slightly for it. Then he kicks the ball out wide. Not a good kick. Now he should have been marked there by Brad Scott. Abraham with him. He hangs on to him. Scott again. Handball back. Okay. Lynch to mop up. Big high kick out wide. Bamford, who's just come onto the ground, just looked disorientated there, and Shannon Brown out. So Scotty Bamford struggling a bit. He's just come on. He was caught a moment ago by Archer and then never really got hold of it. There's that Archer free kick mark.
That's a classic example of where the spoilers not intending to contest the ball at all, just wanting to take Archer out, so the free kick paid.
Well, that was Justin Lepich, the Brisbane Lions player in that marking contest.
Robbo, Richard Champion has just come onto the ground. He's now gone to full back, and Alistair Lynch now picking up Wayne Carey.
Interesting. Thanks, Dipper. 34 plays 25. There is the picture of Richard Champion alongside Craig Scholl.
Watch out, please stand back.
And always, Carey looks damaging. He's had 5 kicks, 6 hand passes, and has kicked a goal. Abraham tries to run away from McRae. Well, that'll be a good contest in a one-on-one over 100. Umpire will bounce the ball. It's between wing and right half forward, favouring North Melbourne. We've got just over 7.5 minutes left in the second term. Clark not able to break away. Hewitt is in the action, so is Anthony Stevens. Hart, and it looks like might be John Blakey as Swooper Northey looks on. I think he thinks that this is Brisbane's best chance over the last few seasons for them to go all the way in season 1998. And you really have to do it when you've got a nucleus of good players available to you.
Gee, that's a...
Ordinary free kick. Say it, Bruce. Hewitt in towards full forward, and the mark taken by Scholl. Well, sometimes you do wonder. You see guys just commit kamikaze in the middle of the ground, play on, play on, play on, then you see a ruck contest and a very, well, insipid free kick given away by a particular ruckman. Scholl has the footy. He's about 35. Well, the player on the mark is about 35 metres, maybe 40 metres from goal. Craig Scholl to the square, and nearly a mark to Darryl White. It's rushed through for a behind to North Melbourne. 10 points is the margin in favour of North Melbourne. 6.5 minutes left.
Gee, John, what could Clark do?
I mean, he signalled high tackle. It's very, very soft and certainly unwarranted in my opinion.
Well, Hewitt did well. I mean, Hewitt trying to cross him and giving Clark no hope, and Clark's trying to get at the footy.
Yep.
Terrible decision.
Done everything right.
Scott to Scott. Lynn will be happy. Mum looking on. Centre wing, Archer front spot. He's going to get a free kick.
Once again, North Melbourne holding up Brisbane across that half-back line, with Archer and McCartney doing particularly well.
Bill read it pretty well, off Hart. White front spot. Scholl, still no free kick. Scott tries to get it back to Scholl. He does. Scholl run down, good tackle. Back to Scott. Scott's handball to Bell. The line's good here. They've tackled hard and they've kept the footy outside the 50. Well done. Taken by Freeborn. He bangs it back into about 35 metres. Simpson, Abraham, big fly at the back. Simpson works it back to Pickett. Pickett goes back to King. King off one leg. Big, strong kick. Gives it a bit of a hook in the end. And out of play in the left forward pocket. 35-25. Good contest here in the semi-final.
Yes, it is. The opposing coaches, John Northey and Dennis Pagan, both looking for 1998 success. Good lineups, respectively. And Clark takes it over. Just a little lucky there that it wasn't out on the full. So the boundary umpire will throw it in about 60 metres around from the north goal.
And it's interesting that the Lions have gone back to the same matchup that they won earlier in the match, with Darryl White picking up Craig Scholl at full back.
Well, Hewitt industriously getting in front there of Clark. Little kick off the ground to the advantage of Champion. Run down there by Stevens. Got his kick away, only as far as Shannon Grant. Usually delivers it pretty well, but he was forced to kick quickly off the right foot and had put it on the chest of Chris Scott. Chris Scott's kick out wide is very good. Trask on his chest, just forward of centre wing. Plays it into the middle where Voss has made good position. Drops what he probably should have taken, then forced to give the hand pass away. Kick forward by Robbins towards the full forward area. Martin, Brad Scott. Over the top there was Power.
Flies at the moment, the Lions.
Pickett out wide. Now a contest on centre wing. Gathered here by Lynch. This is Alistair Lynch. Gets his kick away, a good 1-2, 45 metres plus to half forward. Taken by McRae. The kick to the goal square's been touched, so it's play on. And Archer would probably give away behind. It's going to be thrown in the left forward pocket. No, that hit the post. Certainly hit the post. Is there a judgment there, John? If it hits the inside of the post, it could be classified as maybe over the line for a behind?
No, if it hits the post, it's out of bounds.
Well, David King kicks it away for the Kangaroos, out in the direction of Shannon Grant.
Stood his ground pretty well, then dropped it. Back to Archer. Well done, Grant. Archer helped him out, but kicks the ball out of bounds on the full, under pressure. Lions matching North for intensity at the moment. They need a goal before half-time. Just physically stronger, North, aren't they?
They're just not matching them for strength, and that's their problem. They look best when they kicked it out to Ackermanis. He brought it inboard to Michael Voss. The game was split open, and that's where they looked as if they could get on top. But as you were going to say, Bruce, he fumbled.
Yeah, the champ made a mistake, which is rare, isn't it? Power, the backer was touched. Little kick forward. Good mark, McCartney. Yeah, had Voss taken it cleanly. They were in the van. McCartney's kick. Carey stands his ground. Taken by Abraham. High tackle at look. Back to Tristan Lynch, gone, holding the footy. Good tackle by Simpson at half-back.
And even attempting to do a U-turn and try and sidestep here is pretty tough as we have a look at that ball clearly hitting the post.
Yep, should have been a throw-in.
Come out!
Well picked, Robbo. Chol at centre wing, bangs it, gets it to 50. Scott holds his ground against Ashcroft. Bamford puts Ashcroft under the hammer. North with numbers now hold it up. And it'll be a ball up about 55 metres from goal.
Robbo just signalling that should have been holding the ball. The situation has to be the player dives on it or elects to drag it in. Clearly tackled then, but went to the ground with the ball rather than diving on it or dragging it in. I know it sounds technical, but unfortunately that's the instruction they're given.
Clark at the back. Robert Scott tries to barge through, pushes forward. David King drifted all the way down. Well played there by Champion. And the free kick there going to North Melbourne for a throw, scooping. And Bamford's having a shocker.
Exactly as you called it, Bruce. I think we might buy you a whistle and a white shirt.
Oh, don't do that, John. King, nothing against the umpires. I enjoy commentating.
Not yours. Scotty.
We might be looking for a few shortly.
I was going to say, John, didn't you read the Herald Sun during the week? We get paid more than umpires.
That's right. Actually, interesting to comment on this. David King tried to take that free kick, and we heard the umpire say, no, King, it's not yours, it's Scotty's. So David King obviously considering he had a better chance of dobbing the goal than Robert Scott.
He's kicked a lot of goals over the years, Scotty, but he missed one from here early in the quarter when Views interfered with him, and he's missed another one. He's kicked it to the same side. So Robert Scott's got 3 behinds tonight. Kicked a lot of goals at Geelong, didn't he? Not so many at North. His role's changed a bit over the years, but what a fine player. Hardly ever misses a match. 4-2 to 5-6. He's durable, is Robert Scott.
Well, I reckon he was marked as on the not wanted list at Geelong at some stage. And by gee, squeezed a lot of football out over the ensuing years since crossing from Geelong to North Melbourne. Bamford.
That'll help him, Robbo. He's been struggling, Bamford.
Yes, his confidence is down.
As we talk now, Dick Foss has now come on the ground.
And Dipper telling us that Dick Foss is coming back onto the ground. And there's not long before the half-time siren.
Let him go!
This is young Luke Power for Brisbane. 10 points is the margin.
Lynch has gone to centre-half forward. Dick Foss now to full forward, so they've interchanged their defensive unit for an attacking unit.
Trask into the middle of the ground. Tristan Lynch, who is pretty good at setting up plays. Back to Champion, forced to stand and deliver, which probably sets it up for the defence, and safely taking the mark on his chest as Bell.
Well, Richard Champion's under pressure because it was a pretty poor handball coming from Lynch. One poor error imposes itself on another one, and it just breaks down under this pressure of North Melbourne.
Darryl White's kick. Good contest provided there by Anderson. Scott back to Ackermanis. Ackermanis swings around onto his right. Kicks it in the direction there of Black and Grant, but kicked forward by Anderson. Good mark taken by Archer. This will be a goal to North Melbourne. Archer low, straight, and misses off to the right, and he's disappointed.
And so would his coach be, because Glenn Archer has got the experience and the talent and the knowledge to have just put that one through. He had a couple of options. He should have just kept running at the defender and drawn him out.
Had Abraham loose over the back too, so would have created maybe another opportunity. But the Lions are going wide and short at the moment and not too far. Bamford out on the fall.
Well, half-time can't come quick enough for Scotty Bamford. He'll need just to settle down and reassess where he's at in this match. But as you said, Bruce, they're also trying to pinpoint passes where they haven't got a Wayne Carey at centre-half forward. They've just got a couple of fellows at the moment that are battling away up on that half-forward line, and they're trying to drill bullets at them.
Blakey back to about 50. McCartney has been good to fall forward. Freeborn, champion, still champion. Well played, Richard Champion. Now Scott in the pocket, high ball, and siren sounds. Lappin had it covered, but North lead at half-time, 5-7 to Brisbane 4-2. Thanks, Tip. 26-37, and Lions to the left with Clark. A little kick by Ashcroft, who's been playing deep in defence on Robert Scott for most of the night. McCartney, who Dipper spoke to Anthony Rock about in the half-time break. Pushed back by Ackermanis. Bamford tries to break away. Well done. Ducked his head, but he was able to get some momentum up. Kicks to Lepage. Martin, he's hard to beat in those situations, Mickey. A handball by Bell, okay, to Blakey. Blakey away. Kicks the ball to Robert Scott. Scott's taken the mark. Dipper, what was Michael Voss saying at half-time about dry weather football in the rooms? You there, Dip?
Oh, sorry, Bruce.
What was Voss saying?
The umpires. He just said, boys, it's not dry weather football. One quick hand pass and one long kick. We've got to get into the four-line and work very hard under the packs.
It looked as if they were overusing their players late in that second quarter. Alistair Lynch away, bangs it back to centre-half forward.
Very well played there by Alistair Lynch, but a terrific mark taken by Blakey. We've probably come to expect now that the ball handling might be a little better, a little surer, with the absence of the rain. Dick Voss marked safely on his chest at half-back.
Robbo, Scotty Bamford kicked the first ball long into the Brisbane forward line, but it was three North Melbourne people at the bottom of the pack, and that's the point that Michael Voss was making. They need some crummers at the fall of the ball.
Chance here now as Hart kicks the ball to half-forward. Blakey beaten for it by Lepage. Tackled by Martin. Ball spills now. Good gather there by Anderson. Anderson's kick across his left shoulder. Out in the area there of Stevens, and he just pointlessly there beats Ackermanis for the football. 37 plays 26. Stevens into the middle of the ground. Oh, great mark. Good interception there by Voss. A real general in this Brisbane Lions lineup is Michael Voss. His kick falls short, and the mark is taken back there by Freeborn. Good player, Glenn Freeborn. Very much a spare parts player. Has kicked a goal, and now defending across half-back. Good interception again by Voss. Tries to set it up for Lynch. Lynch across his left shoulder. Out wide towards centre wing, gathered there by his namesake. This is Tristan Lynch, of course. His kick towards half-forward, punched away by Archer. Strong play. And the North Melbourne defence standing up at the start of this third term. Keen supporters, Brisbane Lions fans, the youngsters here tonight. It's not a bad crowd at Waverley for this first semi-final of the Ansett Cup. Ashcroft, little toe poke, chopped off by Pickett. Hand pass not really all that effective. Hart to McRae. Back he goes to Scott. Chris, that's a bit of a guess. Brad Scott. Bamford. Bamford's got the football on the forward end of the square. 11 points in arrears are the Brisbane Lions. Bamford's kick right to the goal line. Hits the behind post, so it's out of bounds in the left forward pocket for Brisbane. A boundary throw in to take place.
And it was a good guess, Robbo. It's a
4-2-5-7. Lions attacking early in the third quarter. They need an early goal here, but they're right in this match. In the pocket, Ashcroft, Bell, and another boundary throw in. Shannon Grant just saying, well done, Peter Bell. Good job. Byron Pickett there. And Bell and Ashcroft. Ashcroft deep in defence, as we said earlier in the first half. Coming forward now in this term. Trask, left foot, doesn't go far. Pickett, it's almost out on the full there, but just dribbling off his foot. And another boundary throw in. Throw in there, Zackermanis. Bell with Pickett.
9 possessions to Byron Pickett.
Scotty Clayton on the left, and the towering figure of Roger Merritt, John Northey there as well. Blakey did it well, didn't he? Just able to back turn and get away. Buse, well done by Simpson, then ducks his head, gets a free kick.
Bit lucky.
Yep. If a player ducks his head like that and that contributes to the high tackle, then it normally wouldn't be paid and shouldn't be.
Not a strong kick into the centre, but North with some numbers. Quick handball there by Hewitt. Free kick there to David King. No, coming back earlier. And looks like Anderson's got it for North.
Yes, a Sandover medalist from Western Australia, Brady Anderson, has been quite impressive in his few appearances so far with North Melbourne. Kick to half forward, not quite taken there by Robbins. Gathered now by Robert Scott, throws it onto his left foot, puts the Lions defence under a bit of pressure. Down comes Freeborn, gathered by Dick Voss. Handball over the top to Darryl White. One bounce, handball over the top again. Down the ground he goes to Sean Hart. Hart assesses and then kicks with his favoured left foot, but gives it up. Mark taken by McCartney, who is playing a serviceable game for the Kangaroos.
I reckon he'd be BOG, wouldn't he?
Impressive stats. 17 touches to Jason McCartney. Good effective kick. At the fall of the ball there was Abraham. Simpson gets the handball back to no one in particular. Sean Hart there, dispossessed by Hewitt. The ball underneath there somewhere. A real conglomeration there of arms and legs. Underneath it, have a guess. Anthony Stevens comes up with a footy, and umpire Gold Spink will bounce.
Bit of an arm wrestle at the moment, isn't it? Mark Nash, David Ackland, Darren Goldspink, the umpires. Both sides finding it hard to score. White did well against Scholl, then belts it back. Missed by Brad Scott. A hard ball, though, to get. Well done, King, but Voss, every time he touches it, there's a touch of class. Ashcroft very wide to Tristan Lynch. Both teams are finding it very hard to break through half forward. Lynch weaves, then short. Okay, Ackermanis just backward of centre wing. Chips away, that's not bad. Chris Scott still only at centre wing. Not asked to play on yet. Brisbane just trying to find a way through. It's pretty hard at the moment. Tries a torpedo, doesn't quite get it. Little push there by Leopard by Bartlett was good, and he's kicked a goal. Handy, very handy. Look to give a shove there. 5-2, 5-7, and the Lions stay right in touch here.
Well, we've seen a brand new style of football here. Actually, a long kick into the forward line. Now, strange enough, it paid dividends, Robbo.
Don't mind that.
I would have thought that Trent Bartlett was midway between a push and holding his ground.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what they would have been thinking about, as to whether he was holding his ground or actually pushing.
Well, much conjecture about the situation that led to Bartlett kicking the Lions' 5th goal, but it's at half forward again for Brisbane. Kick forward by Marcus Ashcroft. Well done. Gets it onto his boot quickly. Trask, gather. Pressure provided by Martin. Gets it back. Bartlett 2 in a minute. No. He's missed off to the left.
Good effort by Trask there. He just held his ground, didn't he? Was able to hold the footy there.
And he got right at the base of the pack, which is where they've been lacking support. So a couple of long kicks into the forward line. Obviously a new style of football, and it's almost paid dividends with 1 and what should have been 2 goals.
There's some good youngsters in this Brisbane lineup, and Trask is one of them. The kick in, big fly there by Simpson, not able to take the mark. Ashcroft to Hart. Hart into the left forward pocket, a little bit too far there for Justin Lepich. Yet to kick a goal in this match. Has kicked 9 in the first 2 games. The first match against Fremantle in Cape Town, and the second match against the Crows up at the Gabba. That's Bamford with the football. He's just well tucked in there in the finish, and the umpire will be forced to bounce. It's not quite up to the wing. It's probably still at left half forward, basically, for Brisbane. You can see the 50-metre forward line there for Brisbane. And there's a free kick off the boot of the Brisbane Lions player. And it is a free kick to North Melbourne to be taken. It came off Sean Hart, and it'll be taken by David King. 4 points is the advantage in favour of the Kangaroos.
Once you cross the line, play on.
The umpire telling Kingy, once you cross the line, it's play on. Keeps it low and gets good distance to centre wing. Clark went early against Hewitt. Tap on by Scholl was clever enough. Almost up to half forward. Bewes got a bit of support, in trouble. Oh, gone, I reckon. Should have been holding it. Well done by Scholl to Bell. Bell can run the full distance. In fact, he runs a bit further than the full distance. Beautiful kick. It's touched, is it?
Gee, great effort.
By Lappin for behind. Interesting play there. Good defensive play by North to put Bewes under the hammer. And you'll see here, Bell's kick was a beauty. Coming out wide, Bamford, Blakey, belts the ball out of play. So there's the Bell kick. He weighted it well. And Lappin, well done. Pike trying to hold him up.
It was a good, real good stretch there by Nigel Lappin, because Martin Pike did get his body between the goal line and his opponent. Ashcroft gives away a little bit of ground back to Bewes. Bewes, a wobbly punt kick, gets back towards the wing. North Melbourne through Carey provide an outnumbering situation. His kick is close. Has it gone over on the full? No, it was touched over. Gee, there must have only been a few centimetres in that. And this is Bewes being brilliantly harassed there by Winston Abraham.
No, there's no doubt in my mind the umpire would have called play on for that one, because in his opinion Andrew Bewes attempted to punch the footy. Attempting to punch is okay in that situation.
Terrific attack on the man by Winston Abraham. Clark's kick goes back near the wing. A real struggle here now. That was Shannon Grant. Pickett, now Archer. They win out again in the strength stakes, do the Kangaroos, but a poor kick in the finish by Glenn Archer. You wouldn't have been happy with that, I wouldn't think. It's over on the full, and the free kick to be taken just down here in front of us for Brisbane by Sean Hart. Goes in short, and it's not too bad. The mark taken there by Brad Scott.
Plays on quickly, kicks to centre half forward. Underneath it, Bartlett, Clark, good take by Pickett, well played, out to Blakey. Blakey off one leg, gets some reasonable distance to centre half forward. Another good contest, trying to mop up there, Bewes. Bewes bangs it back, Lions going well here, no free kick play, force forward, Clark under pressure, Lions falling to the ground, Lynch tries to break a tackle, he can't. Bell finds a bit of movement and a bit of space, wobbles back, Voss got caught underneath it. Abraham now can kick a goal from 45 metres, low, misses, a behind. North inaccurate here, keeping Brisbane in it. 39 to 33, 5-9 to 5-3. North Melbourne for the 4th consecutive year in the semi-final stage of the Ansett Cup. They've been stopped at the last 2 years at this point by the Blues and by Geelong. Scott, centering ball. Dick Voss has to attack. Okay, Ashcroft needs to kick it off the ground, probably. No, he kept his call. Well played. Ackermanis' kick is a beauty, and the Lions are away through Tristan Lynch.
Out wide, and he doesn't mind setting up a bit, Tristan Lynch. He gets round onto his right foot, kicks it in towards the full forward area. Or probably should have taken that, Justin Leppich. Gathered by Pike, finds a little bit of space. Hand pass away to Martin. Martin running away from centre half back, kicks it long towards centre half forward. Scholl does well. Just provides a bit of a contest. Simpson for Bell. Bell looking for Anderson. Harassed by Darryl White. In goes Brad Scott in support. Now away to Sean Hart. The kick not quite smothered off the boot. Effectively out to Tristan Lynch. By himself once again. Kicks it down to the wing. Oh, terrific play by McCartney once again. David King caught. Handballs the ball away from himself. Tristan Lynch will get a free kick. The tackle, or attempted tackle by Pickett, just a little bit too eager there, and Lynch gets it away out wide to Bamford.
Bamford runs on, kicks the ball over the top. Not a bad option, this. It's a one-on-one situation. Off the ground, McRae. Behind. Good attacking move by the Lions. 34 to 39. Scholl coming from the ground. Couple of changes coming on. Black comes on for the Lions. And number 1, Damien Houlihan, having his first run, I reckon, tonight for North Melbourne. Good kick out by Shannon Grant. Gets to Mickey Martin. This is a good contest, isn't it? I don't know about you guys, I've always felt that North was in control, but the Lions have closed here, and North are really finding it hard to score.
You only need a little bit of luck when the scores are so low as they are in this match.
You can put 2 goals in 2 minutes as a big swing, isn't it?
My word.
Martin's kicked the centre wing. Lions are having most of the footy just at the moment. They haven't been able to put it on the board, though. Chris Scott couldn't take it. Look, now Brad Scott pushes out wide. I hope I got them right. Ashcroft runs to centre wing. Kingy does a steeplechase. Boundary throw in. What a good player Ashcroft is. There's Voss, Scholl, Voss collecting Craig Scholl. Scholl now off the ground.
It's interesting, when he went for the man there, he did get rid of him, but he probably should have gone for the football, because it was a couple of North Melbourne players that came up with it there, Michael Voss.
Interesting, then Mark Nash said nobody's got him, and yet clearly then we saw the jumper grabbed and the player was held.
This is the same one where both players, Lynch and Voss, were looking to shepherd. Maybe they were being stirred up to try and impose some Ron Barassi type physicality on North Melbourne, but the ball has got to still be the main objective.
Great to see that young fellow participating in a game of football. Matthew Capuano, severe knee injury last year. It looks as though he may have recovered. Pickett does pretty well, hacks it out of mid-air. Carey will nearly kick a goal, won't he? Does he like this, or does he like this? Great goal to the captain. 2 goals against his name in a tradesman-like performance at the key half-forward position. They lead by 11 points to the Kangaroos.
Well, it was a slips catch there that Danny Dickfoss put down. It wasn't easy, because he was skating around on the ice in very slippery conditions here, but it still should have been taken at this level.
6-9 to 5-4, so Carey, great goal. Kicked 2 very important goals tonight. North coming forward again. Lions cannot afford another one against them here in a low-scoring match. Pike goes for it off the side. Started the game really well, Martin Pike.
No real concerns on Craig Scholl. He's just explained to the doctors he hit a brick wall and just catch his breath. Expect him to be back on the ground soon.
A couple of concerns in the middle of the ground at the moment. Matthew Clark is absolutely dominating the ruck taps, but getting sharked pretty effectively by North Melbourne, and they're taking it away.
Advantage given to Bell. Little chip pass good to King. North here with a chance to go 3 in front. Got a lot of attacking defenders, haven't they, North? I mean, King and Archer, 2 blokes that often like to get forward.
This bloke's played a fair game.
Good game, Bell. He's had 12 kicks and 5 handballs, Bell.
Just busy, though, isn't he? You know, he's always in underneath the packs and trying to move it forward.
He's hardly missed a game in these couple of seasons with the Kangaroos. Now, David King loves to kick a goal. Kicked 8 last year in his 23 matches, which is not bad off the back. Kick 1 every 3 weeks is all right. Kicks for goal and kicks it well.
No wonder he wanted that shot.
That's the 2 goals in 2 minutes that we're talking about, yeah.
He wanted to try and pitch that shot from Robert Scott in the second quarter.
And they both came from fundamental mistakes by the Brisbane Lions. One was the Danny Dickfoss drop chest mark across our forward line, and the second one was not getting to the feet of Matthew Clark, who's just absolutely dominating the ruck taps.
David King has kicked his first goal, and North Melbourne now lead by 18 points. Capuano under a bit of pressure, but gets it away to Pickett. Pickett off the left foot, bounces a little awkwardly. At half forward for the Kangaroos, gatherers by Ashcroft. Out wide, Simpson does well to Freeborn. Past Voss, Freeborn's kick into the pocket. Opportunity now for Houlihan. He can't really control the footy. Well done there by Ackermanis to Hart. Hart in towards the centre of the ground. Lepich is a long way down. Probably been starved of opportunities. McRae, hand pass in the direction of Trask. tries to get it out wide to Power. He allows the ball to be taken by Chris Scott, gives away a little bit of meterage. Back to Sean Hart. Ackermanis is caught. Well caught by Shannon Grant. He's going to be rewarded his advantage. It is now with the Kangaroos. They weren't going to get away, but the umpire allowed play to go on, and the kick will be taken by Cochrane. Cochrane's close to the centre of the ground. His kick gets good distance too. Puts that Brisbane Lions under pressure again. Well done, Capuano. Out to Stevens. Anthony Stevens dispossessed by Black. Ball spills for Bell once again. Oh, terrific play, Peter Bell. Just under duress, forced it forward, and the mark has been taken by Houlihan. Interesting story behind Damien Houlihan. He's been on the roundabout, the football roundabout, and drafted by the Kangaroos.
Pretty fair spot to jump off.
At North Melbourne going all right, yes, fair enough.
Very pleased.
Well, he just adds a bit of flavour, doesn't he? I mean, you need numbers. You need something like between 25 and 30 players available to you to pick a team from, and he's another quality player. Houlihan shot for goal. I think he's let himself down there. He's missed by a fair margin. He's kicked it behind.
Good little kick by Bill, wasn't he? Didn't know, try to overkick it. Kick to the front of the square from where he was, and Houlihan playing in front was able to take it. Missed the goal. Lions having trouble getting it clear. Hart to Alistair Lynch. They need a couple of goals in a hurry here before three-quarter time. Ackermanis, a little fortuitous after Lynch was run down. Kick wide to Trask. They've had to go wide a lot tonight on this big Waverley ground. Trask over the top to Power. He's in trouble. Did all right. Back to Trask. They've been forced to kick in a hurry a lot because of North Melbourne's ability to get to the contest very quickly and put pressure on them. And they'll like this with McCartney bursting away. Kicks in the Carey direction. Beat a couple there. Getting underneath it there is Chris Groom, who's come onto the ground. So Dennis Pagan bringing on Cochrane and Groom. Handball back by Cochrane. King wobbles it back towards half forward. Carey. Well played, Blackie. He kept his eye on the footy. Carey collected him, all fair. Well played. Tristan Lynch, little tap out, back to Black. Broke a tackle, that's okay. Comes away from half-back. Slow old kick. Gets underneath it. Punched away by Archer. King couldn't take it. Comes off Lepage. Taken by Scott. Great smother by King. Again, a fantastic smother by King. Two in a row. Blakey tries to get a handball away. Archer nearly won a free kick. Pickett got it to Grant. They're a good footy team, North Melbourne.
Oh, the best passage of football. Pressure footy for the night. Carey, a little push out. Stevens, back to Carey. Little left foot kick by Carey. But go back to that passage of play. It was quite sensational. And statistically, you just have to give, they're all around David King back there where the ball came from. And there he is in picture being congratulated. Mind you, there were probably two or three in it giving him support. But the ball finishes with Capuano, and he will shoot for goal as a result of some fantastic football by the Kangaroos. Their teamwork was just magnificent across half-back, and the kick by Capuano is pretty good. He's capitalised, he's kicked the goal.
Stirring stuff by the Kangaroos. 8-11 to 5-4. They've got a big grip on this semi-final now. Caught was Carter. Oh, good smother by the Lions that time through Scott. Carter's handball, okay. Back to Tristan Lynch, who's had a lot of the football tonight. Under pressure by Pickett. Running too far. Oh, he's disappointed with that.
I can't believe that.
Well, he's allowed to run 15 metres, Robbo, so certainly didn't look as though he went an untoward distance anyway, but nevertheless paid as running too far.
You mentioned Tristan Lynch. Alistair Lynch has just come off the ground. Bit of concern about his left hamstring.
What about from ground level, Dipper, the desperation between the two sides? Does
it's just fantastic. North Melbourne are hitting these players very, very hard, and they're playing in front all night, and they're expecting the boys do the hard work, and then by playing in front, they get the first opportunity at the ball.
Chris Scott to McRae, back to Dick Voss. Has to hug the boundary line and did it pretty well. Boundary throw in. Now, here's a super bit of footy by King. Look at the first smother. So brave on Brad Scott, and then comes again. Look at this. Brilliant. Throws himself across the leg of Lepage.
There's no doubt there's a major difference, a major disparity between the level of desperation between the two sides out here. Collectively, as a team, not individuals, but North Melbourne just much more solid, much more tenacious at the footy.
Even the size of the players, Gerard. I mean, North Melbourne players have all bulked up during the pre-season, and some of the kids are starting to find these hard tackles very hard in the third quarter.
We just saw Alistair Lynch being massaged on the rub-down bench on the sidelines, so I think Brisbane will be anxiously awaiting the results of his, well, injuries if he has got any. Peter McKenna. Pete, you there?
How Wayne Carey plays so much between 50 metres and the goals tonight. He's playing a real captain's game. He's getting up the ground. He's giving off handballs and working so hard, way up around centre wing and half forward, which is unusual for him to be so far up the ground.
And they certainly have the crummers too. Here they are again. Bell and Scott. No. The umpire. Just prior to that.
Tristan Lynch grabbed without the footy, clearly held, so free kick paid against Martin Pike.
Tristan Lynch's kick lands on the chest there of Trask. 59 plays 34. Carey is the only multiple goal kicker at this stage. Just an ordinary miss there. Kick forward then by Power. It's inside the positive 50 now for Brisbane. They've been rare. There's an interesting situation here where we saw Winston Abraham kick. Well, we've already declared it, haven't we, Gerard? Goal of the year so far. Just going to take some beating. But he really is a dashing player, and we've seen a lot of that even in his brief career in the AFL. Power tries to get it forward. Bell is covering some territory. He's across the full back line, kicks it out wide to a one-on-one with the two number 16s. That's Clark for Brisbane and Capuano, and chipping in to help, and that always seems to be the positive for the Kangaroos. They run to help their teammate no matter how far they've got to go, and on that occasion it was Anthony Stevens out there to help Matthew Capuano on Clark.
Clark with 216s again. McCartney over the back. Lappin, who's had a pretty quiet night. He's outside 50. He's a very long kick. The kick is a good one. It's a beauty. He's kicked it. Handy. His second.
Capuano early, and that might have been a free kick. Yes.
Yeah, ran past the ball, ran past where the ruck contest should have taken place, so free kick paid for shepherding.
Well, an important break from the centre. Clark's kick is very ordinary. Oh, brilliantly gathered by King. He is just a real key player in this Kangaroo lineup. Handball away to McCartney. McCartney gets terrific distance in the area there of Wayne Carey. His opponent now looks as though it may be one-on-one Justin Leppich, who started at full forward. Goalless so far in this game, and now playing maybe at centre-half back on Wayne Carey. There they are in screen now. 19 points is the advantage with the Kangaroos. Clark and Capuano. Bell again. Terrific there by Peter Bell. About 25 metres around from the North Melbourne goal. The boundary umpire will throw it in. Just a few seconds left now in this third term, so North Melbourne will hold a fairly healthy advantage at the last break. They may even sneak something out of this foray. Up forward, Carey has the footy. Well done by Tristan Lynch. Chips in front of Bell. Handball. Voss in strife. Well gathered by Black. Goes down the boundary line. Out in front of Ashcroft. Couldn't take the mark. Gathered by Power. Well done. Kicks it forward. Martin. Chance here for Bartlett. Well tackled by Stevens. The ball's still there, and Stevens actually, who raked it back in. And does he get penalised for that?
He has been penalised, Robbo.
Stevens or Bartlett?
You couldn't penalise Bartlett. It was Stevens who hooked it back in.
Yep.
Now, what's happened here? Stevens has been dumped after he kicked the ball. Is that down the ground? It looks as though it may be.
Has been paid downfield.
And Bartlett would be, well, he'd be just steaming, I'd reckon. Watch Stevens rake it back in there. And the advantage is now with North Melbourne. Martin Pike, left foot snapshot. Great kick, no, just bounces off to the right. Through for another behind to Martin Pike. 1 goal, 2 against his name.
So you can see 60 to 40. They've been good in the third quarters of this Ansett Cup North. They kicked 6 goals to 4 against Carlton. down at Hobart, and they kicked 5 goals to 1 against the Bombers of the MCG. And tonight they've taken a grip on this game too in the third term. Not over, only 3 and a bit goals, but they've certainly got a big lead on a night where goals have been difficult to get. Ackermanis' little kick to trash. So at 3/4 time, it's North 8-12, Brisbane 6-4.
Guys, now we've got all our players out having a bit of a look at Brisbane.
Well, thanks for joining us, mate, and I'll see you at the reunion.
Good on you, mate.
A couple of great old Hawks, weren't they? Terry Wallace and Robert Di Domenico, as Carter sends the Lions forward. They've got to get the first goal of this last quarter to have a real chance here. They trail by 20 points. Big prize on the end here. Brisbane yet to be in a major grand final, and they'd love to do it here. And North Melbourne, well, they won 3 years ago, semi-finalists for 3 in a row.
And a long kick into the forward line there for the Brisbane Lions, which saw Martin Pike meet the ball first in front of Nigel Lappin, who's now playing at full forward.
Say 3 in a row, North. It's their 4th in a row at the semi-final stage. What a record under Dennis Pagan, both in the Ansett Cup and the Coca-Cola Premiership season over the last 5 years. Archer, well played. Now, he'll come back and take the kick because the advantage wasn't there in the end. He was given the free advantage given, but then Archer under pressure got a poor left footer away, and the ball's coming back.
But it was typical, no nonsense. He doesn't stop and wait for the whistle to play, just gets on with it.
He's exactly the player that the Brisbane Lions need right now.
He's a chesty Bond, isn't he? There's no doubt about that. He'd probably be a good 5th member of the Awesome Foursome. Let's kick out the centre wing, a handball, Simpson, boundary throw-in. 40-60. It's the swooper, Northey.
Front and square that Terry Wallace was referring to, Jared. Do you want to elaborate on that? Is
Well,
that just guts and determination, getting at the ball?
It's just at the front of the pack.
Front of the pack. In other words, be prepared to just put your body on the line in these conditions, and that's obviously a key point of North Melbourne's play. I think they do that whether it's dry, wet, sunny, or filthy. They're just a terrific unit. That's a real indication there of Justin Leppich's night. Is that hail that's coming down? Couldn't be, could it? Well, it's pretty heavy rain. 60
coming down pretty heavy now.
It is pretty heavy dipper, isn't it?
Strong all the time.
I hope you're under shelter.
Yeah, almost like
I'm with the umpires. I'm sweet.
Bruce has already called for Johan Costa to make a reappearance.
Well, it's been a funny evening for footy. It drizzled rain early, which made the ball a bit slippery and hard to handle. And then we had a patch in the middle of the game where the players were handling it pretty well, and now the rain continues to come down again at Waverley. North Melbourne lead the match by 20 points. You would have to think that they could probably go on and win it from here. A succession of goals needed by the Brisbane Lions, and they need some inspiration from Michael Voss, but wasn't he well run down by, it was his rival captain, wasn't it, Wayne Carey, that ran him down, and terrific stuff by both skippers there. The ball over for a boundary throw-in. Carey has kicked 2 goals. Nigel Lappin has kicked 2 for Brisbane. Lepich, their key forward from last year, yet to kick a goal. Playing in defence at the moment. Kick forward by King.
Wasn't he, Robbo? Sorry to interrupt. He was wrapped up, but he still got his kick away. It was just a streak.
With a streak.
He just charged away. And that has been one of the differences here tonight. Just pure strength advantage to North Melbourne.
Robert Scott taking the resultant free kick from that hack out of bounds on the full by Justin Lepich. Voss sees it over. Not much he could do there. And we'll have another look here at Carey running down Michael Voss.
Yeah, great pace from Wayne Carey. He's not just a great mark, he's a great athlete. And that's what makes him such a champion footballer.
Capuano front spot, Clark at the back. Good contest there. Abraham, Carey again. Such a competitor too, isn't he? And this will come off. Pickett, handball. Good play at the back by the Lions. Bell under pressure, out of play. Is that Ackermanis? I'm not sure, or Black, who just put the pressure on Pickett. It's a good effort. There's Bell's stats, 15 and 5. What a good player. Alistair Lynch. He's had his first full pre-season with the Lions, and they're hoping for a huge year. Star waned a bit last season, but the fact that he was debilitated. Oh, that's a good by Archer. That would have been a rival for goal of the year if that had come off. Super effort on the outside of the foot, but hit the post. Ackermanis, that was good. Running down and then Black able to just force Bell out. 6-4, 8-13, so 21 scoring shots to 11, to 10 I should say. Hart's little kick away, back only to as far as Stevens. Stevens then measures the kick to about 30 metres. Abraham from the side, at the back, pace here by Bell. Forces an error by the Lions at the back. Coming through was Robbins. Back towards King, he'll kick his second. Likes it.
A lot of guys in that North Melbourne lineup that don't get the 20s and the 23s and the 27 possessions, but they still rack up the 18s and 17s and what you said before about getting kicks under pressure, standing up and still effectively getting the ball forward.
Well, it's amazing he even got out of this. So when there's 4 Brisbane Lions players around the ball, there was 5, and yet they couldn't wrap it up. If it was up the other end, the North Melbourne defenders would have just blocked it up. There wouldn't have been a shot at goal. Lots to learn up in Brisbane at the moment.
The 9th goal on the scoreboard for North Melbourne, kicked by David King, and they get it forward again through Simpson. He's another one of those players, Adam Simpson, not a really fashionable type, but just does his job for his coach. Kick forward by Bamford, well gathered by Shannon Grant. He has a look and then kicks it nicely to half forward. Abraham has been paid the mark. Oh, come on. Well, he's still going to get a kick, and he'll probably still kick a goal. What a beautiful long kick by Winston Abraham, just offline, through for a behind. Surge forward. Why wasn't that a mark, John? Didn't he hold that long enough?
Well, all he's got to do is control the ball, and in these conditions I certainly think that oh, here's a replay of the actual kick by Winston Abraham's at goal, but not the marking attempt. But yeah, in these conditions I could certainly understand that being paid as a mark, and probably should have been.
Interesting to look at those players not playing for Brisbane that would be automatic inclusions in their best 22. Bradshaw, Malloy and Keating, with perhaps Chris Johnson and certainly Craig Lambert, are 5, but the Keating, Malloy, Bradshaw, you'd reckon would all bolster that forward line area.
McRae's kick back only as far as McCartney. Jim McKernan would be handy for North, wouldn't he?
Yeah, along with Ellison, Rock, Crocker and maybe Chandler.
It's just as strong, isn't it? A good side, North. I reckon they should be, if I was a bookmaker, I'd have them favourite for the flag.
Yep.
Carey, that's the Coca-Cola flag. Carey, bang. Oh, look at that one. A beauty. It's his 3rd.
(10-14 to 6-4). It really is one-sided now. At half-time, it was 11 points in favour of North Melbourne. And they've just gone marching on. Abraham finds a little bit of space. He's a slippery little customer. Right to the line. It's touched by Simon Black. Through for the 3rd behind to Winston Abraham. Yet to kick a goal.
Gerard, Dipper.
Yeah, Dipper.
Not many players like Wayne Carey could just take 1 or 2 steps and kick 50, 60 metres every time. You just watch him do that at centre half forward. He just takes that 1 step and just kicks a long ball.
A big, strong man in many, many ways is Wayne Carey. He's got the footy again, and he kicks it very well to Freeborn. Little shepherd provided there by Freeborn now for Archer. Archer's kick to the front of the square. No one home. Brad Scott probably should have taken that mark. He's going to get a free kick. It's the advantage with the Brisbane Lions, it was, but it's going to come back to Brad Scott at full back.
Clearly bumped in the head here. We see it again.
You're an expert on those, John, aren't you?
It's happened a few times the last week or so.
Now Brad Scott away from the full-back position. Out wide, Capuano puts himself in front. Chris Scott gets it away to Black. Black's little right foot kick. He had no one really to deliver it to, and disguised it reasonably well. Forces a boundary throw in on centre wing.
Craig Scholl closest to us. Good when you can see him on the bench, isn't it?
And he suffered a very heavy knock. I'm sure he'd be just a little ill around the head from that Michael Voss bump.
Bell, fantastic game. Kicks the ball inside the 50. Freeborn was there. Also Archer, Freeborn off the ground. Oh, clever to Pickett. Pickett, well done, round the corner. Bangs it through for another one. Byron's got to go.
Well, a big margin now, 41 points. They've kicked 6 goals, 8 to 2 goals, 4 since half-time. Ashcroft kicks it forward. King and Trask. A bit of a path there for Bartlett, but he's well tackled by McCartney. Spills to Ackermanis. Mickey Martin stands up grandly, then goes after the footy at ground level. Ackermanis kicks it to the front of the goals, but there's no one home for Brisbane. Capuano unselfishly shares it with Shannon Grant. In turn goes wider still. Anthony Stevens has spent a lot of time on the logos, and a good mark taken by Carey. He's wide at half forward, tries to get past. Ducks and weaves, he's still got the footy, not penalised. Kicks it high towards the full forward area, but the safe mark is taken by Dick Foss. Dick Foss now transfers play to the far side. Chris Scott has made good position. He's out there on his own. The short kick is okay, and the mark taken by Ackermanis.
Haven't had a pass half forward for a while, have they, the Lions? Ackermanis short and wide. Back to Chris Scott, 81-40. So North are going to play the winner of Melbourne and St Kilda in the final of the Ansett Cup. Ashcroft just making mistakes, aren't they, to put themselves under pressure. Chris Scott to Robbins. It's all slow motion, though, from the Lions. They're taking forever to transfer the ball forward. Now Hart at about 49 metres. Good kick right there, close. And in the end, touched by Lappin in the goal square. And through from behind. Swooper.
Thank you.
40 points the difference. Gerard, I was looking at North Melbourne's second halves in the Ansett Cup. They kicked 8-4 at Hobart, 12-1 at the MCG, and they've kicked 6-2 so far here. So they've kicked 26 goals for and had 7 against in the second halves of the Ansett Cups. It's been pretty impressive.
Well, they've been right throughout this competition very, very, very impressive, as you've described. And you would think, Bruce, that after this performance, and if they can get over St Kilda or Melbourne next week, that they'll go into the premiership season as favourites. But just on the other hand, how have you assessed Brisbane's performance here tonight?
Me? Average. Good for early. I thought they played very well in the first quarter, but disappointing second half.
They've just kicked 3 goals since quarter time. At quarter time they came with a flurry, but they haven't been able to respond to North Melbourne's tenacity, their physical strength, or even the way they play the game, which is pretty much more direct.
White to Lappin. Martin to try and cut it off, couldn't quite do it. Trask, clever, to Bartlett, who's going to kick his second.
Oh,
12 minutes left in the last quarter, and the Brisbane Lions have just kicked their 7th goal. Michael Voss with the footy. No one home, though. Absolutely no one home. He had no one to kick to. He was under a little bit of pressure, but he's given it up to North Melbourne in the form of Anthony Stevens. His kick will land at half forward. Archer was terrific again, and he's back after it. He's going to get abused. No, he's not. The umpire's found a free kick off the footy there.
Pushing the back paid, Robbo.
To Simon Black. His kick is all right, and it pinpoints Nigel Lappin. He's still behind the wing. Goes short. That kick's all right too. Close to the line. Oh, Sean Hart has taken it over. Well, he'd be disappointed there because he was unopposed and probably should have taken that mark. Dennis Pagan would be reasonably pleased, you would think. His team is going to play in the final, so they've been busy each week of this Ansett Cup series, as distinct from the teams that do lose and have to travel around the countryside. And they've been playing on pretty good grounds.
No. Behind you,
Umpire has decided here on a bounce. 11 minutes left. North by 34 points. Carey has been very, very good standing up at the key half-forward position. He's kicked 3 goals and always presented himself and given the boys down the ground something to fire at. Martin Pike underneath there will lock it up, and the umpire will bounce once again.
You've just written a note to Joe. We're talking about body language. It's almost as if Brisbane has been a little disheartened by the strength of North here. Not quite intimidated, but knowing that North have been able to break tackles, barge through, physically impose themselves on Brisbane, whereas a collective unit, the Lions, have been able to respond to that.
Yeah, and I think it would have been disappointing for everybody that came here expecting Brisbane to be more competitive than they have been tonight, because if you took probably Voss and Dick Foss and maybe 1 or 2 others out, Bartlett, they just haven't, anybody hasn't risen to the challenge and shown the desperation in the one-on-one clinches. It's all been trying to just win a possession on the end of a handball, etc.
Good play by Black, kicks to centre half forward. Bartlett, Martin at the back. Trask back to Bartlett. Well done, handballed out. Oh, good play there by McCartney. He's had a very good game. Gets it out all right. Martin off the ground. Forces it back into the centre square. Buse gets his little nut down. He keeps his eye on the footy. And he'll get a free kick. Cochrane throwing him down afterwards. So the Lions with a free. Spoke earlier that North has had the wood on the Lions in big matches over the last 2 or 3 seasons. Here's Trask. Kick to full forward or centre half forward. Clark belted away. Back to Lapper. Now he's a long kick. Can he balance up and have a go? He can now. He could kick his third. Goes for it. Leans back just offline and behind. So they crawl up now to 7-6.
Steve, you have to go out, mate, okay?
There's Busey with his head down.
Keep going. 2 more metres, Steve, then we'll be.
Cochrane just hanging on to him and throwing him down afterwards.
He was lucky he
Little
wasn't
throw.
penalised for his disposal of the ball.
Yeah, the disposal was forced out as a result of the tackle, so that would have been the initial play on call and then slung afterwards. So the free kick paid for the slinging.
So, John, if you throw it, but you don't mean to throw it because the tackle's so good it's play on?
No, if the force of the tackle dislodges the ball, then it will be called as play on, provided the player hasn't had an opportunity to dispose of the ball before the tackle.
So the right decision there?
Yeah, if he's had the ball, it just gains possession, tackle, ball force free as a result of the tackle, play on as it was then.
Well done by Scott to hold his ground up at full forward there for Brisbane. They're still not able to crumb that marking contest. Now, North are going to get a free kick here that was not disguised, and actually Marcus Ashcroft felt as though he was going to be the recipient of that kick, but it's going back to Peter Bell. And we'll have another look at... it was a foot and a hand, wasn't it?
Heart and a foot, yeah. So glad somebody else was determining who you'd penalise for that one, because it was both teams.
John Blakey with the football at left half back, gets very good distance with the kick. Down towards the wing, well done by Carey. Just hacks it out of the air and gathers about 30 metres for his team. Forces a boundary throw in. 81 plays 48. And what a great player Wayne Carey is for his beloved Kangaroos. It is at left half forward. The rain continues to fall. And umpire just barking instructions there to the ruckman at the boundary throw in. Lepic kicks it back close to the wing. Not quite taken there by Robbins. Grant, the tackler. The hack out of the air marked by Ashcroft.
Half forward, hugging the boundary line, North with numbers. And King and Martin together, King building it out of bounds. So the Kangaroos by 33 points here. David King with a couple of goals. Typical performance by him. It's been tough for the spectators out here tonight, particularly those barracking for the Lions. They were there at quarter time, but they've struggled, particularly since the long break. Voss tried to come through. He had some moments in the second quarter where he lifted them. Trask, not too bad. Quick kick inside. Mickey, what a great defender he's been. Did the job on Lloyd last week. Job on Lepic again tonight. King getting it from Burl, 2 of the stars tonight, and that one out of bounds on the full, so it'll be a free kick coming to Lappin at centre wing.
Interesting matchup once again. Martin Pike on Nigel Lappin for a fair bit of the time tonight. And when you consider he did a pretty good job on James Hird, it does appear as if Dennis Pagan has got him slotted for a midfield role.
Simpson, King, clever kick. Lappin, well played by Pike. Some real skill there. And the kick inside's a beauty. Taken by Abraham. Every time he gets a footy, you just love it. Kicks the ball out in front beautifully to Groom. That's great play, Abraham. These two guys would have been teammates for a little while in Perth, wouldn't they, at Fremantle? I don't think Groom actually played a league game at Fremantle. He went to the Crows, was there for a couple of seasons.
I saw him play one for the Crows here in a practice game against Essendon. Actually, it was an Ansett Cup game, and he was absolutely dominant.
He's given that a big old hook.
So he can play. He just has had a lot of problems with his knees, and North Melbourne have got a terrific player if he can just stand up and stay healthy for a while.
So you look at Pike here. That's keeping your eye on the footy, that, isn't it?
Yes, well done by Pike. He was a best and fairest winner, wasn't he? Was it Fitzroy? He won a best and fairest when he went to the Fitzroy Lions. Nakamanis kicks it down towards the wing. He's just an absolute wonderful little terrier, as Anthony Stevens. Got the ball forward again. Carey not able to take the mark. Pike, tackled from behind by Ackermanis. Comes to Groom once again. His kick across the half-forward line. Now the race is on here. And that's Groom there, actually. I don't quite know who it was that kicked it. Might have been Capuano. Groom's kick is all right. Bell couldn't take it. Freeborn, shot for goal by Freeborn. He's kicked another one for the Kangaroos. 2 goals to Freeborn. 12 on the scoreboard now for North Melbourne. They lead 12-15 to 7-6.
Well, that play started back here on centre wing when Mick Martin got the footy. He was about 5 yards in front of Trent Bartlett, and Bartlett was just coasting from behind. Now, we know Trent Bartlett hasn't played a lot of footy over the last 12 months. He didn't play any last year. But they're just little things that have stood out almost in every contest tonight. North Melbourne far more disciplined.
87 to 48, 12-15, 7-6. Freeborn with 2 goals. Excellent performance. Carey coming from the ground after an outstanding effort also with his 3 goals and leadership from centre half forward. Blakey tried to go off the ground. Abraham having a big last quarter. Could he goal from here? 48 metres out, close, just misses. He's kicked a few behinds, Abraham. I've got him down for 3, got him down for 4. Robbo will make it. That'll do. 12-16 to 7-6. Now help me, Robbo. Was it Brad or Chris?
Great, Scott.
Good on you. We'll get him by the... Dear me. McRae gets it short. That's Brad Scott. Thank you. Donnie Fitzsimmons just telling me he was number 5, our director. That's Brad. Adam Simpson at centre wing. Sort of lackadaisical player, but he's a good player. Simpson had a big season in their premiership year. Kick by King. Push forward by Abraham. Here's Groom. Back to Abraham. Nice little handball over. Trying to get through there was Pickett. And away goes Ackermanis. But lovely mark by Simpson.
I think you picked them out, Bruce. You know, the guys that are around about that 5'10"-ish, 5'11", 6 foot, they just have real desire to contribute, whether they're out of position or not. And Adam Simpson is just, well, he does that personified. Mickey Martin. Shannon Grant. Now Voss to Robbins. In turn to Carter. Carter for Brisbane. Kicks it in towards full forward. Good mark. It's got to be paid, that one. Anthony Stevens. Yes, there's not much hesitation when you go to pick a big V team, I wouldn't think, Jared. When you have to assess midfielders, you'd pick Anthony Stevens, wouldn't you, if he's fit?
He's always one of the first pick without question.
Pickett towards half forward. 3 Lions players up. Anderson, Abraham, again Winston Abraham across his left shoulder. Shepherded through. No, he can't quite help that ball over Peter Bell. His endeavours were there with Marcus Ashcroft, but Abraham, an exciting player, and boy, is he an acquisition for the Kangaroos. That young fella will be one day, I'm sure, too, Bruce.
I think he saw himself on the big screen.
Pretty enthusiastic about it.
Big kick by Houlihan.
Pretty good kick.
Has he kicked it? He's pretty happy. It's a goal. Good on you, Damien. And the Kangaroos are slaughtering the Lions now. 94 to 48, almost double the score here at Waverley Park.
And what have we got? 29 scoring shots to 13. This probably even further indicates their dominance today. This has been really a remarkable performance by North Melbourne. I think a lot of people have got Brisbane finishing very high up on the ladder this year. They may be taking second thoughts.
Peter McKenna, 48 to 94 here, nearly double the score.
Well, I'm interested in Damien Houlihan. He played with the Tatura last year after really failing at Collingwood. He really didn't knuckle down. But I think the success of his brother at Geelong, Bruce, Adam Houlihan, has made a big difference to Damien. He knows what he can now achieve.
Pete McKenna, who one of the great goal kickers of all time in VFL history. He's really bulked up, hasn't he, Damien Houlihan?
Well, that was one of the things that I noticed about him. Big around the shoulders, and I mean, a player of his size just has to be that little bit stronger, physically stronger. Otherwise, you just miss out and bumped off the football, and the strong defenders take control. Sean Hart trying to get the ball away, clear from half back. for the Brisbane Lions. Dick Voss, Hart back into the action, hacked it out of there. Trask, back to Michael Voss. Michael Voss's kick is over on the full, and, well, that probably tells the story. He looks as though he's got a bit bigger too, Michael Voss, doesn't he? A bit bigger and a bit stronger.
Just getting back to the North Melbourne recruits, Jason McCartney was, in my view, best on the ground at half-time. Maybe this bloke's challenged him for the votes for the match in total, but along with McCartney, Winston Abraham's already shown he's going to have a great impact for North Melbourne, and Adam Houlihan likewise. Damien is going to do a role for them if Craig Scholby, for any reason, goes down.
And Shannon Grant's been handy too, hasn't he?
Well, that's what you're trying to do, isn't it? You're trying to fill your team list with sort of 28 to 30 players of quality.
And Corey McKernan not playing tonight. He injured himself in round 19 last year going into the finals. He's out for a couple of weeks, and McKernan unfortunately injured also at the start of this year. He was injured in the game against St Kilda in the big match on the Friday night, the preliminary final, which was a huge body blow to the Kangaroos at the time. So throw McKernan in, 2 or 3 others. This is a mighty team, North Melbourne.
Yes, it certainly keeps the pressure on everybody in the original 18 or 22, whichever you like to describe it as, but that's what it's all about. Here's a chance now for the Lions. No, yes, the advantage is it was a free kick to Brisbane. The advantage is with Michael Voss, and he just strolls in and kicks the goal for Brisbane.
Are you all right, Mick?
She's a goal up.
Yes.
All clear, he says.
It's all clear.
Put up the big 2 fingers. Michael Voss has kicked his first goal. Brisbane have kicked 8. Sorry tale for the Lions.
Well, Trent Bartlett pays the price there for his side with a pretty big jump into the back there, or into the front by the North Melbourne player.
Front was the one paid, Jared, against Adam Simpson.
40 points the margin in the last couple of minutes of the semi-final. So North, for the second time in the last 4 seasons, into the final. They also made the final in 90 and 91, so it's a pre-season competition, the Ansett Cup. They've had a fantastic run as Anderson goes for goal and puts it through. Another recruit for North Melbourne. They look like they've done all right over late spring, summer. They've just added a few elements to this team, 8-6 to 14-16.
The Goose's neck for the recruiting manager's been well spent.
Yep.
He's done a terrific job.
When you look at them, Jared, they were finalists in the Ansett Cup in 90, finalists in 91, they won it in 95, semi-finalists the last 2 years, and finalists again this year. They've been the most successful team in the 90s in this pre-season comp.
Well, without question, North Melbourne take this competition absolutely 100% serious. They realise the importance of it for their membership and also the big paycheck at the finish.
Good mark by Bartlett. The irony of it, they lost in the first round. I think it was in 93 when Wayne Schimmelbusch lost his job when they got slaughtered by Adelaide over at Footy Park.
Talking about the recruiting manager, there was a little story in the paper, I think it was today's paper, about Neville Stibbard, who does play that role for the Kangaroos. And he was talking about taking Byron Pickett over the Westgate Bridge. He said every time he goes over there, it was something to do with a practice match, I think, being played down at Geelong. But obviously a bit of a character, Byron Pickett.
He's lucky to find him too. It was a good article, wasn't it?
Yes, very interesting.
Put a note on his door. So Power from the pocket, the kid. And he's just floated it inside. So behind there's Bartlett. You hope he's all right. He had 3 ankle operations last year and didn't play a senior game. So this is a bit of a worry here. He's a brave player, Bartlett. Good mark. And came down awkwardly. So that's a real blow to the Lions and to Trent particularly. So it looks like it might even be that ankle again. So Bartlett coming off the ground very late in this match. That's just not fair, is it? I mean, you're into about the last 30 seconds to take a big specky.
Yeah, Bruce, it's his ankle, and of course he was out last season because of a sore ankle, so we'll keep an eye on that one.
Thanks, Diddler. That's bad luck for Trent Bartlett, but a great result. See Stuart Cotton with some blood, but a great result for North Melbourne tonight. They were very, very impressive in making their way through to the Ansett Cup Grand Final.